Hello and welcome to Exposed News Outlet. My name is Andrea and I will be your host. I would like to discuss some ancient artifacts and knowledge from ancient aliens theory and from historical artifacts, many of which can be seen still to this day in ancient paintings and artifacts from centuries ago. But before I get into these facts, if I could ask for you to please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and check the notification bell to be sure to get all of my latest notifications for my latest content. It really helps me out a lot, and it helps to get my videos out to the masses and the algorithms that otherwise might not see them. So thank you, it means a lot. And thank you for supporting my independent news channel. Without further ado, I would like to get into the video. Over the course of the last 20 plus years, and specifically the last 10 plus years, I have done a deep dive into ancient texts and information. I also started watching an amazing show on the History Channel, which in my opinion was rather bold. For the first time in history, they were sharing confidential reporting and even events such as close encounters with the fifth kind, aka extraterrestrials, as well as spotting UFOs, crash landings, and even crash shot down by the U.S. Air Force and military. Some allegations of reverse engineered spacecrafts that they had retrieved as well. These modern day events stretch back as early as the 1930s and seem to grow more frequent and diverse as the years went by, and led to the Roswell incident, which has had much speculations and cover-up. Jesse Marcel was an active duty officer, and he was one of the first on the scene to investigate a crashed UFO just outside of Roswell, New Mexico in 1947, which was first reported to the local newspaper as a crashed saucer. The newspaper went to print, and immediately the USA Air Force immediately walked it back the very next day, saying it was actually a crash weather balloon that confused all of the agents, not a UFO after all. However, the eyewitnesses strongly disagree with that claim and even claimed that it was a cover-up. Coroners in the town also alleged that the agents had asked for 4 small caskets, kid-sized caskets to be exact, because they had small creatures they needed to dispose of. And it's thought that all of the context of the craft and occupants went to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Ohio, and later said to be moved to the notorious Area 51, which at this time wasn't even built yet. They would send all of the artifacts to the Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Ohio to be looked at. Looking back into the ancient texts, including the ancient Mahabharata and Hindu writings, they actually speak of these advanced technologies and weapons over 12,000 years old that speak of weapons of mass destruction, much like nuclear weapons today. And in places like modern-day Pakistan, they have found locations that appear to have had a major blast and even fused rocks and stones and melted each other, much like what you see from the nuclear blasts in the deserts from modern day. And these are from ancient times. Other places along Africa and the Middle East, they actually had sand turned to glass. And this is exactly what occurred when the U.S. tested these blasts in Mexico, and the sand fused together. In ancient times, they also discuss there were 3 giant cities hovering above the earth. And at one point, these 3 floating cities waged war on each other, shooting out bombs and weapons across the skies at each other, which many blasted down to the earth. Let me play this.
Well, researchers suggest a government-sanctioned bond of secrecy has prevented witnesses of the crash and retrieval from coming forward publicly. But many did choose to come forward later in life, including the first military officer to arrive at the Roswell crash site, Major Jesse Marcel. According to his grandson, Marcel privately shared many details of his experience with the family.
My grandfather, Major Jesse Marcel, he was head of intelligence for the 509th Bombing Group. As a kid, basically around the dinner table, we talked about Roswell. And through conversations, we learned that my grandfather was the lead investigator into what has become known as the Roswell incident. And when he was looking at debris, he couldn't make heads or tails or any sense out of what he was looking at. He'd gathered some of the debris and decided to take it home with him. He kind of came to this idea that he said, whatever this stuff is, it's very significant. It's going to change humanity. And I want my family to be part of it. This is very important.
According to the family's story, Major Marcel came home after his first visit to the site and laid the debris out on the floor of their kitchen. Some of the material was a strange, thin metal, similar to foil, except when crumpled up into a ball, it would bounce back to its flawless state. Marcel also claims the metal was not the same material featured in newspaper photographs being held by his grandfather.
There's a pretty famous picture of him holding a piece of debris, which is just a piece of foil, basically, and it was weather balloon material. He grudgingly went along with the story, held it, and if you take a look at that, you'll notice that he's not looking at the camera. He's looking up somebody barking him orders. He fell in line begrudgingly and did what he was supposed to do.
The Dead Sea Scrolls were unearthed in the late 1940s and early 1950s, which told a detailed account about Noah and other ancient artifacts that aren't written in the traditional Bible. And in many cases, even back in ancient times, they tried to claim that aliens were demons, and they weren't even allowed to speak about them, or the strange happenings and crafts overhead, or the lights in the skies. If they did speak about these things, many were incarcerated, while others weren't as lucky and were killed. Others were stoned to death or murdered simply for speaking out about UFOs in the skies, which back then they didn't have the terminology or the education we have today. In fact, many people in ancient times couldn't even read, and they had to rely on the elites such as the high priests or kings to read for them or educate them and the masses. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of events that unfolded as far back as the Dark Ages, where strange images would glow as if a glowing cloud in the sky. Many modern-day crafts use clouds to mask their crafts. Artists in medieval times would use paintings such as the Virgin Mary or even with Jesus, and they would have the UFO above them or even in the background, including an image of Jesus in the sky holding hands with God and what looks like Sputnik with two antennas. And it's supposed to be Earth, but it looks more like a spacecraft or something else, some kind of technology. In fact, many of the famous and original pieces from medieval times and all through our history as far back as 40,000 years plus depict these accounts. And many of these ancient accounts are very sinister, with even tales of the Black Plague supposedly being created and spread by aliens. Oftentimes, they even reported that you could almost see this fog spread through the town. That oftentimes they would see what we refer to as the Grim Reaper along the city edge, hacking down weeds and spreading a film of smoke. Even Christopher Columbus noted in logs a glowing object rising up out of the water, which, by the way, it's much like the UFOs that have been seen in modern day from the U.S. military and Navy, what they call USOs, or unidentified submerged objects. And they're able to fly into the water, through the sky, all mediums. And incidents in the Bermuda Triangle, which align with a lot of these common mysterious happenings that occur in the region still to this day, with anomalies and magnetic phenomenon that occur to change the onboard systems, making them go haywire, which can be dangerous, especially in a plane. And even Magellan, after Columbus, saw a similar light in the water and then took off into the sky. This has literally been caught on camera on the U.S. Coast Guard and military ops, because they have released one of the videos, and I've seen it, that was leaked by Luis Elizondo, that went viral. And where part of the Congress Disclosure Project, MUFON, and several organizations, as well as Dr. Stephen Greer and Bob Lazar had put together. Oftentimes, the government would note UFO would show up before, during, or after bomb and nuclear test sites. Sometimes UFOs would crash in the vicinity, possibly from the blast themselves. They would then take the technology to Area 51. Prior to that, it was Wright-Patterson or these other Air Force bases. They actually had an Arizona UFO crash that occurred in Kingman, Arizona, where they brought the aircraft to Area 51, including the UFO and advanced technologies, as well as deceased extraterrestrials and even a live extraterrestrial, which in turn worked with the military at Area 51 and in the other underground labs, and had been helping humans with advanced technologies, and other extraterrestrials had even met with past presidents in the Pentagon as well. Some of these biochemists and medical doctors got the chance to work directly with the aliens. One of the aliens, named J. Rod, from the Kingman, Arizona incident in 1953, and J. Rod actually helped with advancing much of our technologies and even with the reverse engineering of advanced UFO craft. And many of these crafts, again, have the ability to change from air to water and can even fly into the mountain ranges and mesas all around the globe. There are many documented eyewitness accounts in Washington's Mount Rainier, Mount Shasta in California, and also in Hawaii and other places around the globe, stretching back into ancient times, all the way to modern day, where even I myself have seen and documented many incidents. Unfortunately, there were some incidents where I didn't have a phone or camera on me, but they were very bizarre. Or as well as one time, what looked like a powerful 3D laser shooting through the sky, and it could have been. Other times, they were most definitely UFOs. Almost always in these incidents that are recorded, the UFOs end up, or even sometimes planes, vanish in midair, much like in the Bermuda Triangle. Alaska has what they call the Alaska Triangle, where many people go missing than anywhere else on Earth. Others even report missing time. People go missing sometimes walking or hiking, oftentimes right in front of others, as if they disappear into thin air. Sometimes never to be seen again. Other times they'll turn up in a bizarre or almost impossible place, such as an infant who went missing and then was found 5 miles away on top of a mountain, and she was an infant and barefoot and alone on a mountainside, and there's no way that she could have gotten that far in less than 30 minutes. Some of these modern day events haven't been quite as thrilling or enjoyable, as some pilots have even come forward saying that UFOs have literally played chicken with them in mid-flight in the skies, or others that even had UFOs pace their planes. Another incident where a pilot claimed that 3 UFOs attached to his plane, one on each wing and another on the underbelly, and took complete control over his aircraft. And in another case, there was one that was actually crashed into a plane, causing the plane to crumble, and the pilot died in mid-flight as a result of the crash. However, it was only one plane in the wreckage. So whatever struck the plane didn't crash to the ground, it kept going, nor was it even ever seen. But it left red streaks across the mangled plane, and sadly the pilot was killed, as I said. Investigators were taken back by the recorded Mayday calls that came in just before the crash, which ironically traffic control couldn't see the anomaly. And much of these reports and incidents are taboo. And usually they would try to deny or deflect rather than admit the truth, as they discussed in these clips as well as on the show Ancient. Dr. Stephen Greer also has his own record-keeping site online as well. Linda Moulton Howe is an incredible journalist. She too has a web page and revealed and shocked the nation with her reporting on animal mutilations and other bizarre abductions and strange occurrences over the last 70 years. And you can see hers at earthfiles.com, as Linda has built an amazing site with all of the documentations from her career and investigating as a journalist. Flat Earth theory, I'm sure many of you have heard of it at least in sometime in the past, or more recently especially, with the rise of disinformation and propaganda and conspiracy theories. I keep seeing these videos and groups online trying to indoctrinate and spread disinformation instead of educating themselves or fact checking or even cross referencing. But the flat earth theory is nothing new. This is the collective beliefs of in the ancient times and was even written into ancient biblical texts, which many try to point to still to this day as proof for a flat earth, such as the firmament, and many say that we can't leave the earth or go into space, while science and astronauts say otherwise. So in ancient times, this was the collective opinion prior to science and research and development and telescopes, frankly. It was taboo to speak about UFO and extraterrestrials. However, as I mentioned before, they would often incarcerate anyone that spoke of them, or sometimes even stone them to death or murder them. So artists would get clever and paint them in paintings or other creative symbols. Oftentimes, the churches and officials would try to label the extraterrestrials as demons. However, this is a false characterization. And in fact, some extraterrestrials were benevolent, others are malevolent with an evil agenda. There have been many different types of UFOs and even more than 38 different species of aliens recorded in recorded contact with the American government, to my knowledge. From the government, and this is documented in the government artifacts themselves, and you can actually seek that online as well, I believe, on earthfiles.com. And supposedly there are an infinite amount of ETs and galaxies and universes, etc. It's extremely huge and endless possibilities. I'm going to end this video with a compilation clip of my unrecorded UFO videos that I've recorded multiple nights outside of the house, just outside in the yard. So let's check out this clip here.
What makes them brighter and dimmer? What is the difference?
It's probably the distance they are away. If it's up higher.
That's about the altitude I saw the first one at.
Well,
Whoa, look at it. Whoa! It passed right in front of whatever star that is.
well, that star's way further back. It just looks. Because
But
this
you
one's smaller than the other ones, so I can tell it's further away.
Oh. If that disappears over the house, I swear.
It's heading west. Or east, I mean.
Why can't
From
we
the
climb
west.
them? Why can't they just fly lower? Why do they have to fly so high?
And it is blinking a rainbow. It looks like a sphere with a cube in it, like the others.
Am I tweaking or did it look like it just gave something off for a second?
I don't know. It's like a trail.
Oh, that's you.
Going behind the hands moving around. These mosquitoes are trying to bite.
It's going so slow. No,
It's still there.
No, it
I
just
can still
disappeared.
I can. Now it's gone.
Fucking nothing. It just keeps going.
It's headed south east. It's behind the trees.
Fuck. Where is it going? I'm trying to think. That's crazy. Because this is. What? No way. It just disappeared over the fucking house. Yeah, I see what you mean.
Cosmo, stay here. No, it's going the same. Coming from the west to the east. Along the same path.
They're all going the same direction.
Yeah. They're going pretty fast. Yeah, but it kept getting dimmer and dimmer.
That was cool. Where are you going?
It's blinking and amorphous.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. It sure is. Hey, that's the same exact direction I seen the first two going in too.
Let's head east.
Did it just slow down?
No, but it's about to go behind that pine tree.
I swear, if it disappears over that, I think there's some
It's crazy. Dang.
No, I thought you definitely focused too.
Shit. I need to get my truck. That's a stationary store and it looks like one of those UFOs that's always flying around. Is that just what it is? looks like the amorphous, the sphere with the cube in it, and it changes, it rolls around inside of itself, changing shape and color.
Oh, no way, you almost can't see it. What? Did it just stop? Am I tweaking? Did it just really stop?
I couldn't see because this light over here was too bright in my eye.
I don't know, I lost it.
You lost it too? So either it stopped or disappeared. Wait a
Wait,
minute.
it's still going. I think I found it. Yeah, it's up here above me.
Yeah, but the place,
by that bright star.
the cool thing about that constellation that I told you about, or UFO, whatever it is, it's there every single time that we go. You know what I mean? I could see if it was just something that I noticed, or, you know, it was like, ah, cool, whatever.
That star.
Every single time.
That star right up there is blinking just like that UFO was.
Yeah,
Here, look at this.
it's kind of bright.
It's,
What?
and that's what that star was like over there.
Sorry. Yeah, no,
You're
that...
taking me.
It is, look,
that was-
look at my phone. It's changing shapes and blinking
Whoa.
rainbow.
It's a UFO. That's the second one that we... Look, it just went, like, dark. Oh my god.
It is a UFO. It's
Oh
getting
my
darker.
Whoa, it's disappearing.
It's disappearing.
Where did it go?
It disappeared, bro.
It did just disappear.
Oh my
What?
god. I just got the chills.
That's so cool.
That one's going south?
No, it's going northeast.
Oh.
That one is really faint to the eye, but I can see it a little better on. It looks like it has a trail behind it, which is
Yeah,
weird.
it does. Like the gilly.
Here's a plane, just so you can see the difference. I'm thinking. I'm gonna go behind. Wait, I forgot about. You want? Can you put Cosmo inside? It's coming from the big divide.
Like it's going. It's like
But if I zoom in on it, it looks, yeah, it looks like it's changing shape and color. Is there another one behind it?
no, I think that whatever that is, it's stationary.
No, I'm saying like back the other way. I can't look over that one.
this one's flying south from the north, like over by the Big Dipper. Which is interesting because I saw that documentary about the pilots saying they saw him by the Big Dipper. Yeah. Airplane pilots. You see another one? No, that one went behind the trees.
Thank you for watching my video to the end. I will have more information on UFOs and updates as I go along. I also, before I end though, I saw that in New Jersey they actually have been seeing these large autonomous drones flying overhead and mapping the area, flying in formation at times and blinking with lights. I know in my videos when I zoomed in it appeared as if it was a cube inside of a sphere, and it would blink and change colors almost through the rainbow, as if it was a pulsing light, and it would also change shapes as an amorphous, almost an amorphous blob as it projected through the sky. And after watching it long enough, very bizarre and advanced technology, it's pretty neat. But why the secrets? You know, from my own knowledge and investigation, I have seen that some of these UFOs are actually piloted by humans, while others are piloted by aliens. And I wanted to make that clear because I think it's important that we know everything, especially if you watch the Disclosure documentary that Dr. Stephen Greer put out. It's amazing. I highly recommend it. Gaia is another app, an application that you can get on and goes over all this higher consciousness and all of the esoteric and ancient artifacts. Very deep information. There's a lot of information out there. Check it out. I'll continue to update and add more as I go as well. But I did want to thank you once again for watching my video to the end. If you haven't already, please subscribe, and again, check the notification bell and select all so that you get all of my latest videos and updates. And please like and share my videos on your social media platforms and help to get my content out to the masses. Thank you so much and have a blessed day. And as always, be kind to yourself and be kind to others as well. Thank you.
Intuition. Hey, it's green. You see that? Yeah, it's like a lime green to the eye, but then when I zoom in on it, it's almost like it's amorphous and blinking. Those people that just drove by, they probably thinking an alien blinking going on. Oh my god, I said that now, watch, we're gonna see a crap ton more of those. Oh shit, I don't know if it went out. No, it didn't. Look how many freaking airplanes are up there. Are you seeing this? 1, 2, 3. In one area. What? I'm not watching that, because I'm watching this. Well, I'm waiting for one of the motherfuckers to crash into it. Bet you it's gonna happen one of these times. This one is going from the south to the north. Oh, there's another one. That one's going slow. Over here. Oh, it's about to be behind the trees. If you don't move. I'm trying to follow this one.
There's another one. There's another one. There's no sound.
Yeah, actually, it might be.
There's no sound.
Um, that's an amorphous, it's blinking and changing.
Oh my god, what? Babe, that's a red, something red just came out of it.
The weird thing is it's dim to the naked eye, that it's brighter on the camera. And it started to go down. It's just weird because it's staying in one spot for a long time.
Like, my iPhone is capturing it. Like, it's putting a square around where it is. It's moving. Oh my god.
There's more. They're blinking. Over to the right. I can see them on my camera, but not by eye sight. See? Look. They start blinking over here in like a triangle. Stop.
Babe, that light is gone. It's not behind that.
Yeah, I know.
What did we just see?